Hello, great people. One of the prominent leaders of the indigenous people of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, has been arrested and detained in prison in Finland. In this video, I'll be telling you the why, how, and implication of his arrest. That means why he was arrested, how he was arrested, and the implication of it. And then I'll be giving you an icing. The icing on the cake is the international relations and diplomacy that usually facilitate this kind of prosecution, because in this kind of thing Nigeria would have been involved. So what has Nigeria done? How has Nigeria been facilitating the arrest and prosecution of Simon Ekpa? What are the ways, both the legal and the corner way, you understand, that Nigeria would have taken before getting to this point? And then I'll also be bringing to you the reaction of the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I will also be linking Buhari to it, because Simon Ekpa is being charged for an offense that he allegedly committed in 2001. That was during Buhari era, and you know what the Buhari government did to bring in Nnamdi Kanu. So I'll be giving you that and a whole lot more on this episode of Politik with Dr. Omosoladeji, your favorite political scientist. Now, what has Simon Ekpa done? Simon Ekpa is accused of sponsoring crime, public incitement to commit crime in Nigeria. It says public incitement to commit crime with error intent in Nigeria. And don't think that Simon Ekpa is being tried for what he said yesterday or last month. No, he's even being tried now for an offense that dates back to August 2021. That is about 3 years away. I think there are lessons for the Nigerian police, you know. There are lessons for the Nigerian police and the DSS in this case, because that means that they have been investigating him since 2021. It means that they did not rush. And in 2023, Simon Ekpa was invited by the police and he was being investigated for collecting funds through questionable means. That he was collecting funds for things that it is questionable, which is to incite people against the Nigerian government and to seek the separation of Nigeria. Now, let us look at what they said, how they really framed it. They said Ekpa is accused of coordinating violent actions against civilians. Listen well, I want to bring out something from this. Let me start again. Ekpa is accused of coordinating violent actions against civilians and authorities in Nigeria's southeast region. That is the southeast region that, you know, is popularly being called Biafra land or Igbo land. They said he's coordinating it from Finland using social media platforms to further his agenda. And the Finnish police stated that international cooperation, that's where I want to bring in the Nigerian government. I will explain that to you. International cooperation has been crucial. Underline that, has been crucial to the ongoing investigations, with hearings for the suspect scheduled for Tuesday. Now, let me bring in the Nigerian government. First, when you are in a foreign country, and some of us that have lived in different countries, we understand what I'm talking about. When you are in a foreign country, if you are talking about your home country, the government of that country is not interested in you. Because if they are to investigate you, to prosecute you, they will be using their taxpayers' money. So countries are naturally not interested in what is going on in Nigeria. But then, for the Finnish government to have gained interest, that means that the Finnish government has been consistently pressured by Nigerian government. But then, the Finnish government would have been very careful. Now, we are diving into the realm of international relations and diplomacy. Simon Ekpa, being a Finnish citizen, a Finland citizen, has some right. And if the Finland government is not careful, if they go against Simon Ekpa, they will be breaching that is right as a Finnish citizen. So the Finnish government has to be very careful to see that he has committed a crime that it is legally also recognized in Finland, and they will now seek the collaboration of Nigerian government to establish that case. And that is why they said international cooperation. You see, if Simon Ekpa has strong network in NIA, the intelligence agency of Nigeria, NIA. If Simon Ekpa has strong network, that's why sometimes when you fight, you need to kind of like map out your strategy first and build your network even before fighting. Because at the end of the day, it may be that your strategy and the network that you've built that will matter most to you. If Simon Ekpa has strong network in NIA, he would have known that the Buhari government have been on his trail for so long. And sometimes this thing costs countries hundreds of thousands of dollars. In the sense that, let me break this down. I wish I'm taking PhD students right now, but then I need to break this down in such a way that everybody can understand. You see, every country is regarded as a living being, a living entity. That's why when you are charged with treason, when you are charged with secession, when you are charged with some crime that you want to bring down the corporate existence of a state, it is in the eyes of the law assumed that you want to kill, because each country is regarded as a living entity. That means that Nigeria is regarded as a living being. Even though if you say Nigeria, the trees, the bricks, the cars will not raise their hand and say present. It is still people that will answer. But countries are regarded as living being. And that is why the offense, when you are charged for something like treasonable felony and all that, usually carry the maximum punishment. And the problem with that is that the state will be seeking to kill and execute you. So now, what this means is that Nigerian government would have held the Finnish government that this thing is affecting the activities of Simon Ekpa and 4 others that were arrested along with him, is affecting the corporate existence of Nigeria. Now, why will Nigeria make this thing happen as a country? I said each country is regarded as a living entity. Now, look at it from the aspect that you are a living human being, and me, I am a living human being. So all of us, we are a country. Just as human beings relate amongst themselves, just as they permutate amongst themselves, just as when you need something from someone and you decide to use somebody that is closer to that person to get that thing, exactly, that is what some of these countries do. In other words, if Nigeria has a good relationship with United Kingdom and they are trying to get Simon Ekpa, but Nigeria does not have a good or maybe the best of relationship or any kind of like treaty or bilateral agreement with Finland, they will go through countries like the UK that, oh, UK, help us talk to your friend Finland. I said countries are regarded as living beings. Help us talk to your friend Finland that we need so and so thing. Then if UK, for instance, now I'm not saying it is UK, I'm just using it as an example. If UK now intervenes that, oh, Finland, my friend, this and this, then Finland will begin to take it serious, because on a good day, the foreign government will naturally not want to be spending their taxpayers' money on something that involves Nigeria. That is the truth. So if UK approaches Finland, Finland will now say, for instance, as their human beings, and say, oh, okay, that is your friend. Since when have you guys been friends? What have you been gaining from them? They'll say, oh, we have so much investment in Nigeria, and if Nigeria secedes, it is to our disadvantage and detriment. Finland will say, oh, okay. Then Finland will now gain interest. Not because of Nigeria, but for the sake of a country like UK or US or Canada, depending on the country that Nigeria aligns with. Then they will now begin the investigation. Now, where Nigeria comes in, without a doubt, if you are doubting, is that if you look at the statement, they said international cooperation has been crucial to the ongoing investigation. And they said that Simon Ekpa was accused of coordinating violent actions against civilians and authorities in Nigeria's southeast. That's where Nigeria government comes in. So in that preliminary investigation, they would have contacted the Buhari government and the Tinubu government to supply information about what they have about the background of Simon Ekpa. What is his ancestry? How has his activities, underlined, how has his activities brought pain to the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government will now begin to collate all the activities, the issues in the Niger Delta, whereby unknown gunmen, all those kind of things, they'll now begin to collate it. The military men that have lost their life, they will collate everything. They will even go as far as interviewing some of the traditional rulers in Igbo land for them to give the statement a weight, because somebody like Simon Ekpa would have said that, oh, Nigeria is doing injustice against Igbo people. So I won't be surprised if emissaries of the NIA and the DSS have gone to Igbo land to interview some of the top, Igbo guys. I don't want to mention some names because I'm not sure whether they interviewed such people, but they would have gone to interview some prominent Igbo guys or Igbo politicians, Igbo big men, leaders of thought in Igbo land. Those leaders of thought will now be saying in their statement or recording that the activities of Simon Ekpa is detrimental to the Igbo land, and that Igbo land is even satisfied with their existence in Nigeria. So a lot of networking would have gone on, and that is why you see that they accused Simon Ekpa in 2021, and they are just kind of like trying him in 2024. Now, the implication of arresting Simon Ekpa and remanding him in prison is that foreign governments, the government in the Schengen zone, the UK, the US, Canada, some of these reasonable countries, they don't arrest you without having something concrete against you. That's the problem. For them to arrest you, that a case has been on since 2021, they would have been looking at Simon Ekpa's activities. They would have been looking at him. He himself won't know that they are even looking at it, and they would have gotten all the evidence, including testimonies from Nigeria, because you can't say his activities have affected Nigeria without getting testimonies from Nigeria itself. You can see, and the testimonies will come from that Igbo land, the southeast, that his activities were alleged to be affecting. So you can see how I connect it back from Finland back to Igbo land. Now, the thing is that for them to have arrested him, it is a major issue. It is a very serious case, because they won't just remand you in prison if they don't have a very solid case against you. Now, I want to read something for you. The investigation crime commissioner, Otto Iltunen of the Central Criminal Police in Finland, he said something. He stated that the police suspect that the man has promoted his efforts from Finland with means that have led to violence against civilians and authorities, as well as other crime in the region of southeastern Nigeria. So that means the man is saying it with emphasis. This is his direct quote. Look at it. He said, promoted his effort from Finland with means that have led to, not that are suspected to have led to, because these people, they kind of like make statements. They are professional law enforcement agents in Finland. So that means that they have already gathered all their evidence. But what I can say is that Nigeria is deeply involved in this, surely from the days of Buhari. In fact, the effort of the Tinubu government may have put little or no effort in this thing, and they are the one reaping it now, and we definitely take the glory. And that's why they said that in government you inherit the liability and the asset. What I can say is that it is only justice, equity, and fairness that can eradicate the agitation for Biafra. Because to my mind, I think it is already too late. If you look at it, the Igbo land is already pregnant of many Simon Ekpas. That's just the truth. If you look at it, that a lot of Simon Ekpas are already existing in Igbo land. People that have profited from the agitation in the southeast. And if you look at it again, people that have not only profited from it, people that have gained name from the agitation for Biafra, that these people have now bought into the ideology, and that itself is a problem. Now, let me speak about the ignorance of the people in the presidency. There's somebody, Olusegun, one of the aide to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I'll try to attach the social media post on the screen. It says, "Thank you, Finland. See you soon, Prime Minister." That means he's responding to the arrest of Simon Ekpa, because Simon Ekpa usually calls himself the Prime Minister of Biafra. Now, this is some of the illiteracy that we have in government. If Simon Ekpa has been arrested for a crime and investigation is going on and his hearing is going on, but because the offense is a capital crime, they remand him in prison, doesn't mean that he will instantly be deported to Nigeria, especially as a Finland citizen. They will try him in prison, they will try him in court. The Finnish government, the Finnish law court, will pass a judgment. Simon Ekpa will have a right of appeal. He will appeal perhaps up to the apex court in Finland and argue his case. Then if they still find him wanting, he will go and serve his sentence in Finland. Then after that, they can now repatriate him to Nigeria. But this one, this Olusegun, in the presidency, when they will appoint people that don't know anything, he's rejoicing as if they will repatriate, or maybe they will extradite Simon Ekpa tomorrow morning. Come on. You see, ignorance should come from low places, not from the high places. This is ignorance from the high place, because if you are an aide to the president of a country, you should know a bit about international relations and diplomacy. And that's why, even if you want to appoint people based on affiliation, appoint people that are competent, that can do the job, not people that will come to social media and be disgracing the government. You know, if government feels that Simon Ekpa is his problem, I'm not against his arrest, prosecution. I'm not related to Simon Ekpa. But I am saying that this guy's tweet shows a lot of ignorance of international relations and diplomacy, which is very, very sad, coming from the presidency of a country. But as regards the arrest, prosecution of Simon Ekpa, that is left for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his government. But what I can say is that it is fairness, justice, and equity that can bring peace in Igbo land. And I also see that Igbo land, Igbos themselves are not united. So it's like Simon Ekpa is fighting a battle of his own, because it's not every Igbo man that supports this. Some Igbo men that have invested in Nigeria, you know, they like the corporate existence of Nigeria. The politicians profiting like the corporate existence of Nigeria. Some Igbo men that have businesses across Lagos and everywhere, they like the corporate existence of Nigeria. Igbo people that have done intertribal marriage, they like the corporate existence of Nigeria. So it's not even every Igbo that is in support of the separation, but then there should be justice, equity, and fairness. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omosholade. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great videos coming your way. Always remember that I love you all sincerely.